What if the secret to mastering modern life wasn't about doing more but thinking differently? Could ancient wisdom from Stoic philosophers hold the key to handling your money, mindset, and morning routine? And what if one simple ritual each morning could shift the entire direction of your day and eventually your life? Welcome back to the Stoic Rit channel. In today's video, we're diving deeper into our self-development series, continuing right where we left off in the last episode. If you're new here or happened to miss the previous parts, don't worry, you can easily catch up through the full playlist that'll pop up at the end of this video. Each episode is carefully crafted not just to inform, but to serve as a real, daily toolkit for living a more intentional life. And if you've been enjoying this journey of growth and mindset mastery, now, in this episode, you'll learn how to reshape your relationship with money, discover purpose in your everyday routines, and sharpen your focus on what truly matters. Together, we'll explore timely, powerful questions like, can money actually buy happiness or just distractions? How do we find meaning not just in the destination, but in the daily journey? And what lessons can we borrow from the Stoic masters who lived centuries ago, yet understood human nature better than most people today? As Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So consider today's lesson your preparation, your daily mental upgrade. If you're ready to declutter your mind, streamline your priorities, and tap into the timeless strength of Stoic wisdom, go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's embark on this journey together. And as Marcus Aurelius so clearly put it, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A morning ritual, your daily dose of awesome. Let's kick things off by talking about how you start your day. And no, we're not talking about the rushed, blurry-eyed, caffeine-powered scramble most of us are used to. We're talking about something deeper, something intentional. A morning ritual that isn't just about getting out the door but about stepping into the world with clarity, calm, and confidence. Let's be honest, most of us fall into the snooze button trap. We wake up tired, already behind schedule, and rush through the motions. Maybe grab a quick breakfast, if at all. Maybe scroll through our phones. And maybe, just maybe, take a second to breathe. But what if your mornings didn't have to feel chaotic? What if, instead, they could be a sacred space, a quiet window to anchor your body, sharpen your mind, and reconnect with what truly matters? That's not just modern wellness talk. The ancient philosophers knew this truth long before we did. Aristotle, for example, believed the early hours of the day were the foundation of your mindset. He recommended mornings filled with movement, quiet reflection, and focused learning. So how can we adapt that wisdom into something that fits our fast-paced modern lives? So now that you're waking up with more intention, no more snooze button autopilot, it's time to build out the rest of your morning ritual. Because those first few moments of your day, they can shape everything that follows. Let's break down 5 powerful Stoic-inspired habits you can bring into your mornings to fuel your body, sharpen your mind, and ground your spirit. Let's start with the first simple habit. Wake up, breathe, and begin with purpose. The way you wake up sets the tone for your entire day. So before reaching for your phone or diving into distractions, pause, take 3 slow, deep breaths, stretch your body gently to awaken your muscles. Then, silently set an intention for the day. It could be a word, a value, or a goal something simple like today. I will be calm, or I choose clarity. This brief pause realigns your energy and gives you ownership of your morning from the very first moment. Hydrate and nourish your body. After hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated. Start your day with a tall glass of water to reawaken your system. Then, give yourself real fuel of breakfast that energizes rather than crashes you. Skip the sugary cereals and pastries that spike and dip your blood sugar. Instead, opt for something with protein, healthy fats, and complex carbs. Think eggs and avocado toast, oatmeal with nuts, or a smoothie packed with greens and fruit. Your body will thank you later. Move with intention. Movement isn't just for physical health, it clears the mental fog. 2. You don't need an intense workout. A brisk walk, 10 minutes of yoga, light stretching, or a short home routine can do wonders. This is about waking up your system, not punishing it. You'll feel more energized, focused, and emotionally balanced throughout the day. Feed your mind. Before your inbox takes over or social media pulls you in, spend a few minutes feeding your mind. Read a page from a book that inspires you. Write in a journal, or sit in silence and meditate. Even 5 minutes of mindfulness can center your thoughts. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe. To think, to enjoy, to love, that's not just poetic, it's practical. Start your day rooted in awareness. Plan with clarity. Take a few moments to look at your schedule. Prioritize your top 2 to 3 most important tasks. Don't try to cram in everything, focus on what truly matters. Set realistic goals for the day. So you're not just busy, you're productive. When you begin the day with a plan, you reduce decision fatigue and avoid the feeling of being constantly behind. Real-world inspiration. Morning rituals in action. Let's see how these ideas play out in real life. The CEO's morning meditation. Many high-level executives credit meditation as a crucial part of their mornings. It helps them clear mental clutter, reduce anxiety, and approach their day with focused intention, not reactive urgency. The artist's morning pages. Creative professionals like writers and designers often begin their day with morning pages, 3 pages of free-flow writing. Unfiltered and uncensored, it clears the subconscious, unlocks creativity, and helps them process emotions before the world intrudes. The athlete's training routine. For athletes, mornings are sacred. Whether it's weight training, running drills, or a light recovery session, their routine prepares them physically and mentally for the demands of the day. It's not just discipline, it's ritual. The bottom line, a morning ritual isn't about cramming more tasks into your already full schedule. It's about carving out a sacred space just for you. A time to reconnect with your inner self. Align your actions with your values. And prepare for the day with clarity and calm. Because when you win your morning, you win your mindset. And when your mindset is strong, you're unstoppable. So take time to experiment. Test different habits. Build a ritual that speaks to your rhythm. Your mind, your body, and your soul will thank you for it. But just as the way you begin matters, so does the way you end. Because in between sunrise and sleep, life happens messy, unpredictable, and full of lessons. So here's a question. What if, instead of collapsing into bed on autopilot, you used your evenings as a chance to pause, reflect, and grow? Most of us live in a loop. We wake up, rush through our morning routine, dive into work or school, grab quick meals, maybe squeeze in a workout or some scrolling, and by nightfall, we're drained. We crash into bed, mentally already bracing for the next round. But what if we broke that cycle? What if we saw the end of each day not as something to escape from, but as an opportunity to look back, not to criticize or judge but to learn, reset, and move forward better? Daily reflection. The Stoics understood this deeply. Thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius were strong advocates of daily reflection. To them, examining your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions wasn't optional, it was the path to wisdom. Seneca once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." That wasn't just poetic, it was practical. To live well, you must look within. But in today's fast-paced world, how do we bring that practice to life in a way that's both meaningful and manageable? Here's a simple 3-step framework you can use to end each day with clarity and intention. The highlights reel. Start by recalling the best parts of your day. What made you smile? What went well? What are you grateful for? This is more than just positive thinking. It's about training your brain to notice the good, even on tough days. Gratitude builds optimism, and optimism builds resilience. The learning curve. Next, reflect on what challenged you. Where did you stumble? What didn't go as planned? What did you learn from it? This isn't about shame, it's about insight. When you see mistakes as data, not failure, every experience becomes a lesson. The course correction. Finally, choose 1 or 2 small adjustments for tomorrow. What could you do differently? Is there a habit you'd like to refine or a mindset you want to bring into focus? This could be as small as tomorrow I'll speak more kindly to myself. Or I'll take a break when I feel overwhelmed. Because as the old saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that step is often reflection. Daily review in action. Let's look at how different people incorporate this practice into their lives. The journaling CEO. Many high-performing CEOs use evening journaling to track goals, clarify thoughts, and learn from their leadership challenges. It helps them reset for the next day with greater focus and less stress. The mindful athlete. Elite athletes often use visualization and mental rehearsal as part of their evening wind down. They reflect on what worked, what didn't, and how to improve their next performance on and off the field. The grateful parent. Parents often turn bedtime into a mini reflection ritual with their kids. Together, they talk about what went well, what they're thankful for, and what they might do differently tomorrow. It strengthens emotional connection and teaches growth without shame. The bottom line. A daily review isn't about obsessing over mistakes or rehashing every moment. It's about noticing, learning, growing. It's a chance to celebrate your wins, learn from your stumbles, and make small, consistent improvements that over time lead to transformation. But when we embrace change and use reflection as a tool, not a weapon, we become better prepared for what tomorrow brings. Now let's pivot to another subject that quietly shapes our choices, our stress levels, and even our self-worth: money. And trust me, it's not what you think. The truth about money, it ain't what you think. Alright folks, let's get real for a moment. Today, we're having a heart-to-heart about the almighty dollar. No, this isn't a lecture on how to budget better or invest smarter, though those things are valuable. This is about the deeper truth behind money, its real role in our lives, and the often misunderstood link between money and happiness. Let's start with what society tells us. We live in a world where money is sold as the ultimate goal. More money equals more freedom. More money equals more happiness. More money equals success, right? But is that actually true? Let's go back to the wisdom of Epicurus, who said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In simpler terms, it's not about how much you have, it's about how much you feel you need. And the reality is, most of us need far less than we think. The problem isn't always lack, it's craving. The hedonic treadmill. Have you ever hit a financial milestone, got a raise, a bonus, a new job, and thought, "This is it, I've made it," only to find a few weeks later you want more? That's called the hedonic treadmill, a psychological phenomenon where no matter how much we improve our circumstances, we quickly adapt, the thrill fades, and our happiness levels return to their baseline. So what do? We chase the next level, and the next, until we're sprinting on a treadmill that never really gets us where we hope to go. The money trap. Here's where things get dangerous. When money becomes our main pursuit, it slowly starts to take over. We sacrifice our time, our health, our relationships, even our values. We work late, miss family dinners, push through burnout, all in the name of chasing just a little more. But at what cost? Seneca said it best. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. Let that sink in. Real poverty isn't always in your wallet, it's in your mindset. So how do we break free? Here are 4 practical shifts you can make to redefine your relationship with money. Redefine wealth. True wealth goes beyond your bank account. It includes financial stability, yes, but also good health, meaningful relationships, purposeful work, and inner peace. Wealth is about having enough of what truly matters so you can live fully, not just comfortably. Practice daily gratitude. Start each day, or end it, by noting 3 things you're thankful for. A warm meal, a friend's message, the roof over your head. Gratitude grounds you. It reminds your brain of abundance instead of lack. Spend with purpose. Don't just spend on things. Spend on experiences that bring joy, deepen connection, or help you grow. Invest in learning, health, travel, time with loved ones. If it aligns with your values, it's probably worth it. If it just fills a void, it's probably not. Give back. This might be the most powerful shift of all. Helping others through time, money, or energy pulls you out of the self-centered money trap. It reconnects you with purpose and reminds you that fulfillment often comes not from getting, but from giving. So the next time you feel that familiar pull, "I need more. I should be further ahead. Why don't I have what they have?" Pause. Ask yourself, is this truly about need, or is it about chasing a feeling I can actually find somewhere else? Because when we let go of the illusion that money equals happiness, we open the door to something deeper: contentment, clarity, and conscious living. We explored how money, when redefined and used wisely, can serve your growth rather than control your life. And now, we arrive at perhaps the most underestimated superpower money can unlock: the joy of giving. Whether it's donating to charity, offering your time to volunteer, or simply being there for a friend in need, giving brings a sense of joy, connection, and purpose that no purchase ever could. True generosity doesn't require a 7-figure income. It requires intention, and a willingness to shift the focus from what can I get to how can I give. Let's explore a few real-world examples of how this plays out in everyday life. The minimalist millionaire. Many successful entrepreneurs and investors, despite having the means to buy anything, have chosen a minimalist lifestyle. They've realized that fulfillment doesn't come from acquiring more stuff. Instead, they invest in experiences, deep relationships, and meaningful contributions. For them, real wealth isn't in what they possess, it's in how they live. A purposeful life is the new luxury. The charitable billionaire. Think about people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, individuals who pledged to give away the majority of their fortunes. Why? Because they've learned a profound truth. Money is a tool, not a destination. They're not just donating for recognition. They're using their wealth to tackle some of the world's biggest problems. To them, making an impact is the ultimate form of wealth. The happy camper. And here's the best part: you don't have to be rich to be truly happy. In fact, countless studies show that once our basic needs are met, extra money contributes very little to long-term happiness. What makes a lasting difference? People who prioritize meaningful experiences, personal growth, and deep relationships consistently report higher life satisfaction than those who only chase financial gain. So yes, money matters, but how we use it and what we expect from it matters far more. The bottom line: money is a tool, not a master. It can build or destroy, heal or harm, and its value depends entirely on how we choose to use it. By redefining what wealth means to us, practicing daily gratitude, spending intentionally, and giving back in ways that matter, we begin to escape the money trap. And in its place, we build a life that's rich in what truly counts: connection, purpose, and peace of mind. Because in a world flooded with headlines, hot takes, and surface-level information, there's one skill more valuable than ever: the ability to dive deep. Push for deep understanding. Dive deeper than a scuba instructor. We're not talking about snorkeling through your Instagram feed or skimming the surface of YouTube summaries. We're talking about truly diving into knowledge, asking better questions, connecting complex ideas, and seeing beyond the obvious. Because understanding isn't just about what something is. It's about how it works, why it matters, and what connects it to everything else around us. So why does deep understanding matter? It builds critical thinking. When you commit to understanding deeply, you sharpen your critical thinking skills. You don't just absorb information, you analyze it. You question it, evaluate its source, and decide for yourself what's valid. In today's world of misinformation, clickbait, and opinion disguised as fact, this isn't just useful, it's essential. It's how you protect your mind and make thoughtful, informed decisions. It strengthens empathy and compassion. When you take time to understand someone else's perspective, not just what they believe, but why, you begin to see the world through their eyes. You start noticing the hidden struggles, motivations, and experiences that shape how others act. And that awareness opens the door to real empathy. Deep understanding humanizes people, and in doing so, helps create stronger relationships and a more compassionate, just society. It sparks creativity and innovation. Genuine insight often leads to original ideas. When you understand a problem at its root, you're better equipped to solve it, sometimes in ways no one else thought possible. As physicist Richard Feynman once said, The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Only through deep understanding can we avoid assumptions and uncover real breakthroughs. Who dives deep? Let's look at how this mindset plays out in real life. The investigative journalist. They don't stop at headlines. They dig, research, and cross-examine facts to uncover hidden truths. They ask the uncomfortable questions and shine light where others won't, holding power accountable and helping the public see the bigger picture. The scientist. Scientists don't just believe in theories, they test them, break them, and rebuild them. They gather evidence, question their assumptions, and challenge the status quo, all in pursuit of deeper knowledge and life-changing innovation. The lifelong learner. These are the people who never stop growing. They read, attend talks, engage in diverse conversations, and constantly seek to understand more than they did yesterday. For them, learning isn't a task, it's a way of life. They push for depth to challenge their own biases, broaden their view, and evolve as thinkers and human beings. How to push for deep understanding, your mental scuba gear. Let's be honest, going deep doesn't always come naturally. It's a skill you develop. Like building muscle at the gym. Here's how to start. Ask more and better questions. Never be afraid to ask, even if it feels basic. Questions like, why does this matter? What's the full story? Or what's the source behind this claim? Can lead you to insights that surface-level thinking misses completely. The more you ask, the clearer your view becomes. Challenge assumptions. Don't accept things just because they're familiar or popular. Ask yourself, where did I learn this? Is this based on fact or just repetition? What would someone who disagrees say? This kind of self-inquiry sharpens your mind and helps you avoid the trap of groupthink or blind belief. Because in a world obsessed with outcomes, one of the greatest lessons we can learn is this. The real prize isn't the finish line. It's who you become along the way. The only prize, forget the podium. Embrace the journey. Let's talk about winning. And no, we're not talking about trophies, titles, or standing on top of some metaphorical podium. We're talking about a deeper kind of winning, the kind that comes from living a life rooted in purpose, driven by passion, and grounded in personal growth. Because somewhere along the way, society taught us that winning meant beating others. That success meant recognition, applause, likes, promotions, a better car, a bigger house, the perfect body. We're told that once we get there, we'll finally feel fulfilled. But here's the truth. External validation is like a sugar rush. It gives you a temporary high, but it fades fast, and often, chasing it leaves you exhausted, anxious, and wondering, was it really worth it? The gold medal illusion. We've been conditioned to believe that happiness is just one more achievement away. That if we hit the next milestone, we'll finally feel at peace. But this pursuit creates a dangerous trap, the belief that our worth is tied to results. That we're only as good as our last win. As philosopher Epicurus put it, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. True joy, real peace, it doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within, and more often than not, it comes when you're not even trying to impress anyone else. The power of intrinsic motivation. So, what's the alternative to this endless race? It's intrinsic motivation. That internal flame, the passion, curiosity, and purpose that fuels your actions, even when no one's watching. It's the desire to grow, to learn, to create, and to contribute not because of the reward, but because the process itself is rewarding. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the father of flow, explained it beautifully. The best moments in our lives are not the passive, relaxing times. They are the moments when our body or mind is stretched to its limits. In a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Think about that. The best moments aren't the ones when everything came easy. They're the ones when you gave it your all, even when it was hard. So how do we shift from external to internal motivation? Here are some first steps. Define your values. Start by asking, what matters most to me? What principles do I want to live by? What kind of impact do I want to leave behind? When your goals are aligned with your core values, your motivation becomes deeper, more stable, and far more fulfilling. You stop chasing someone else's definition of success and start living your own. But how do you stay on course when distractions pull you away? And how can you tell when you're slipping back into old habits of comparison or perfectionism? The answer lies in creating structure, ritual, intention. Let's now explore how to ground your motivation and keep it alive each day through action. Reflect and write it down. Build your inner compass. Take time, real, quiet time to sit with the big questions. What truly matters to me? What kind of person do I want to become? What would a meaningful life look like? Don't just think about the answers. Write them down, because once your values are in writing, they become more than passing thoughts, they become your compass. And when life gets messy, confusing, or overwhelming, as it often does, that compass will quietly help you course correct. Set meaningful goals that light you up. Forget about goals that come from social pressure or surface-level expectations. Instead, set goals that align with your personal values, goals that challenge and excite you. Goals that stir something deep inside you. Ask yourself, would I still pursue this if no one else ever saw it? The best goals are the ones that make you want to get out of bed, not because you have to, but because you want to. Embrace the journey, don't miss the magic. It's easy to get so focused on the destination that we forget to enjoy the walk. But life isn't a straight line. It's a winding, messy, beautiful road full of lessons, small victories, and unexpected turns. Celebrate the small wins. Learn from your stumbles. Savor the process of becoming, not just achieving. As the saying goes, life is a journey, not a destination, and it's the journey that shapes you. Find your flow, the sweet spot of joy and challenge. You know that feeling when you're completely immersed in something so focused that time seems to disappear? That's flow. It's the state where challenge meets skill, where effort becomes enjoyment, and where your mind and body work in harmony. Flow doesn't have to be found in big things. It could come from writing, coding, painting, playing an instrument, solving a puzzle, or even deep conversations. Whatever it is, make time for it. Flow is where fulfillment hides. Intrinsic living in action. Let's look at how this idea plays out in everyday life. The artist who paints for passion. Not every painter wants fame or a gallery. Some just paint because it fills their soul. They find joy in the process, not the applause. For them, art is a mirror, an escape, and a form of personal truth. The scientist who seeks understanding. Many scientists aren't chasing recognition, they're driven by curiosity. They live for the aha moment. For them, truth and discovery are the reward. The volunteer who gives freely. Some of the most fulfilled people you'll ever meet are those who serve without expecting anything back. They give their time, their hearts, and their energy because it feels right. Their fulfillment comes not from praise, but from purpose. The bottom line, the only prize worth chasing is the one that comes from within. It's the quiet satisfaction of living a life true to your values, fueled by your passions, and shaped by meaningful contribution. As Confucius wisely said, the superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. So let go of the podium, embrace the process, and focus on what really matters. But even when you're clear on your purpose, staying grounded in the chaos of daily life can be a challenge. That's where a simple, yet powerful tool can become your daily anchor, your personal mantra. The power of a mantra, your pocket-sized personal powerhouse. Let's talk about mantras. No, not just the kind you hear in yoga studios, though those work too. We're talking about the kind of mantra that becomes a personal guide, a phrase so clear, so empowering, that it helps you reset your thoughts, refocus your mind, and reconnect with your inner strength no matter what's happening around you. So, what exactly is a mantra? At its core, a mantra is a word, phrase, or sound repeated to focus the mind, often used in meditation, but beyond that, it's a mental toolkit, a personal affirmation that acts like a trusted coach, a stabilizing force, or even a lifeline in stressful moments. Think of it as your inner cheerleader, one that whispers strength when doubt creeps in, and reminds you who you are when the world tries to tell you otherwise. A well-chosen mantra can help reprogram your subconscious, replacing negative self-talk with empowering beliefs and reinforcing a mindset of resilience, courage, and optimism. The ancient roots of mantras. Mantras are not a new trend. They trace back thousands of years to ancient India, used in Hindu and Buddhist traditions as tools for spiritual awakening and inner transformation. But the deeper principle, the idea that words shape reality, is universal. Thinkers and philosophers throughout history have echoed this truth. As the Buddha famously said, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought." The mind is everything. What we think, we become. So how does a mantra actually work? Here are 4 ways a mantra can shift your inner world. Focus and concentration. When you repeat a mantra, it draws your attention to a single point of focus. It quiets the noise, like a reset button for your brain. It helps you push aside distractions and return to what really matters. Positive affirmation. By choosing a positive phrase like "I am enough" or "I choose peace," you begin telling your subconscious mind a new story. And the more you repeat it, the more it becomes a belief. Over time, this shapes how you think, feel, and act. Emotional regulation. Stress, anxiety, overthinking. A calming mantra can help regulate your emotions by activating your parasympathetic nervous system. It soothes your mind, slows your breath, and grounds you in the present. Motivation and inspiration. A mantra isn't just for calm, it's also fuel. It can remind you of your goals, reconnect you with your values, and reignite your determination when you're ready to give up. Real-world examples. Mantras in action. Let's look at how mantras are used in everyday life by extraordinary and ordinary people alike. The athlete's mantra. Many athletes use short, powerful phrases to sharpen focus and push through pain. Whether it's "I am strong," "I've got this," or "keep going," Mantras help them stay locked in, especially when their body wants to quit but their heart says otherwise. The entrepreneur's mantra. Entrepreneurs often face rejection, setbacks, and long periods of uncertainty. Mantras like "I'm building something meaningful" or "every failure is a step forward" help them keep perspective and momentum, even when progress feels invisible. The everyday hero's mantra. You don't need to be famous, wealthy, or in the spotlight to benefit from a mantra. Parents, students, teachers, and caregivers, people facing everyday challenges use mantras to stay grounded, hopeful, and energized. Your mantra could be something as simple as, "One step at a time. I'm doing my best. This too shall pass." The key is, it has to resonate with you. But knowing the value of a mantra is just the beginning. The real power lies in creating one that's personal to you, one that speaks directly to your soul and supports you when you need it most. How to create your own mantra, your personal power phrase. So how do you go about crafting a mantra that truly empowers you? Let's walk through the steps to create a simple yet powerful phrase that becomes your go-to tool for inner clarity and strength. Choose a phrase that resonates deeply. Your mantra should feel like it belongs to you. It should reflect your values, soothe your fears, or ignite your motivation. It could come from a favorite quote, a song lyric that lifts your spirit, or a simple line you create from scratch. Examples like, "I am enough. I choose peace. I am stronger than I feel. This moment is mine." What matters most is that it speaks to your truth even on the tough days. Keep it short and sweet. Your mantra isn't meant to be a paragraph. It should be easy to remember, easy to repeat, and strong enough to cut through mental noise when your thoughts start to spiral. A few words, one sentence at most, enough to pause, recenter, and return you to the present. Repeat it regularly and intentionally. Repetition is where the magic happens. The more often you repeat your mantra, the more deeply it embeds itself into your subconscious. Say it aloud during your morning routine. Whisper it during a workout. Write it at the top of your journal. Use it when you're anxious, tired, overwhelmed, or just need a mental boost. Over time, it becomes more than just a phrase, it becomes a habitual mindset. The bottom line, a mantra is not just a string of words. It's a mirror reflecting who you're becoming. It's a compass pointing you toward your inner truth. It's a lifeline in moments of chaos, and a torch in moments of doubt. When used consistently, a personal mantra can shift your thoughts, redirect your emotions, and rewire your behavior one intentional word at a time. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. But words alone aren't enough. To truly transform, we need training, the kind that strengthens not just our bodies, but our desires, our actions, and our thoughts. Let's dive into the ancient Stoic trifecta, the three disciplines of life. The trifecta of training: desire, action, and assent. If you want to level up your life, there are three core areas to train. The ancient Stoics didn't just sit around talking about virtue, they practiced it. And they believed a good life required mastering. Desire, what you want. Action, what you do. Assent, what you believe. It sounds philosophical, but it's incredibly practical. Let's break it down with some real-world examples. The training of desire: mastering what you crave. Imagine you're addicted to social media. You constantly scroll, compare yourself to others, and feel drained afterward. That craving for constant stimulation? It's a desire that no longer serves you. To train your desires, you could set screen time limits, remove distracting apps, replace scrolling with something enriching like reading, creating, or simply being present. This isn't about denying pleasure. It's about choosing desires that align with your values, not impulses that hijack your attention. The training of action aligning behavior with values. Now let's say you want to get fit. You know it matters. You want to do it. But every day, motivation slips through your fingers. This is where the training of action kicks in. How do you build momentum? Set realistic, achievable goals. Get an accountability partner. Reward consistency, not perfection. Remind yourself that action, no matter how small, beats overthinking every time. Remember, habits shape character, and your daily choices are shaping the person you become even when no one's watching. The training of assent, managing your inner dialogue. Now here's the toughest battlefield, your mind. Suppose you're constantly hit by thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never succeed. These thoughts are not harmless background noise, they impact your confidence, your energy, and your decisions. To train your assent, the beliefs you choose to agree with, you can practice mindfulness to become aware of unhelpful thoughts. Replace them with affirmations rooted in truth. Work with a therapist or coach to challenge deeply rooted patterns. As the Buddha said, what we think, we become. Your thoughts shape your emotions, which influence your actions, and over time, those become your life. Why this matters in today's world. We live in a time of constant distraction, temptations, noise, quick fixes, and comparison traps are everywhere. If you don't take control of your desires, actions, and thoughts, something else will. But when you train yourself in these three areas, you regain your power. You create space for clarity, peace, and purpose. You begin to live deliberately, not reactively. The bottom line, the Stoics weren't just talking theory. They gave us a blueprint for living well, one that's just as useful today as it was 2,000 years ago. By focusing on your desires, actions, and assent, you develop inner strength, you cultivate wisdom, and you create a life that's aligned from the inside out. As Socrates once said, the unexamined life is not worth living. So take the time to examine yours. Identify the gaps, and start training not for perfection, but for progress. We explored how the Stoics trained themselves mentally, emotionally, and behaviorally to live with clarity and purpose. But what if we told you there's a way to shortcut years of struggle, trial, and error? A way to grow faster, wiser, and more grounded? That's the power of watching the wise. Watching the wise, your all-access pass to the school of life. Let's be honest, life doesn't come with an instruction manual. But those who've walked the path before us, they've left behind clues. From ancient philosophers to modern-day leaders, from mentors to everyday heroes. Wisdom is everywhere if we're willing to pay attention. As Stoic philosopher Seneca put it, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. In short, wisdom isn't something you hoard, it's something you share. And the more we observe the wise, the more we can absorb their lessons. Why watch the wise? Accelerated learning. Why reinvent the wheel when someone has already paved the road? By observing the wise, those who've made mistakes, learned the hard way, and emerged stronger, we get to leapfrog the learning curve. It's like having a cheat code for life. Learn what worked, avoid what didn't, grow faster. Expanded perspective. Every one of us carries our own set of biases, assumptions, and blind spots. When we watch others, especially those different from us, we begin to see things we've never noticed. It's like upgrading your internal software. Suddenly, your worldview widens, your thinking deepens, your empathy expands. Inspiration and motivation. There's something powerful about watching someone overcome odds, stay true to their values, or live with purpose. It reminds us, if they can do it, so can I. Whether it's a writer, a parent, a coach, or an activist, their story becomes a quiet voice in our head pushing us forward when we want to give up. Learning from the wise in daily life. The mentored entrepreneur. Behind every successful founder is often a mentor, a guide who's been through the grind and helped navigate the highs and lows of building something from scratch. They don't just give business advice, they offer perspective, encouragement, and the kind of honesty that books can't always deliver. The inspired artist. Artists often study the masters. They don't copy, they learn. They break down techniques, observe patterns, absorb emotion, and build on what came before. The past becomes a foundation, not a cage. The everyday role model. Wisdom isn't limited to the famous. It can be found in a parent who led with integrity, a teacher who believed in you, or a friend who stayed calm in crisis. Anyone who embodies the values you admire can be a personal source of insight if you take the time to watch and reflect. How to watch the wise, your personal wisdom hack. Let's make this practical. Here's how to start learning from those who inspire you. Identify your role models. Who do you admire, past or present? What qualities do they possess that you'd love to develop? Make a list. Then observe how they think, how they speak, how they navigate challenges. Observe and learn intentionally. Don't just follow passively. Read their books, watch their interviews, listen to their stories, pay attention to their routines, decision-making, and how they carry themselves in difficult moments. What patterns can you adopt in your own life? Seek out mentorship. If you have access, reach out. This doesn't always mean formal mentorship. It could be a coffee conversation, a message on LinkedIn, or joining a group where they teach or share. Most people are far more open to guiding others than we imagine, especially when approached with respect and sincerity. Reflect and apply. Wisdom isn't about collecting quotes or saving reels. It's about taking what resonates and using it. Ask yourself, what did I learn? Where can I apply this in my life? How can I embody this wisdom moving forward? Because watching the wise is only powerful when it changes how you live. But learning doesn't stop there. There's one tool that can tie it all together and help you apply those lessons to your life in a lasting way. Simplicity. Keep it simple. Declutter your life. Declutter your mind. Let's face it, life today feels like a constant avalanche of information, obligations, and noise. We're juggling overflowing to-do lists, flooded inboxes, chaotic calendars, and mental clutter that never seems to switch off. So here's a radical idea. What if the path to clarity, peace, and even happiness isn't adding more but removing what doesn't serve us? As Confucius said, by 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection. Which is noblest? Second, by imitation. Which is easiest? And third, by experience. Which is the bitterest? Reflection leads us inward, and simplifying our lives helps create the space needed to reflect, reset, and realign. The overwhelm epidemic. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages, choices, notifications, expectations. We have too much stuff, too many commitments, too many tabs open both on our browsers and in our brains. The result? We're tired, distracted, anxious, and often feel like we're falling behind, even when we're busy all the time. As Socrates wisely warned, beware the barrenness of a busy life. Busyness doesn't always equal meaning. In fact, it can easily push out the things that truly matter. The Zen of simplicity. Simplicity is not about living in an empty white room or throwing away everything you own. It's about intentionality, choosing quality over quantity, clarity over chaos, and meaning over mindless accumulation. As writer Joshua Becker put it, simplicity is the intentional promotion of the things we most value and the removal of anything that distracts us from them. So, how do we put this into practice? Declutter your physical space. Start with your environment, your home, your desk, your closet. These spaces affect your mind more than you realize. Remove what you don't need, use, or love. That shirt you haven't worn in a year? The old cables? The cluttered kitchen drawer? Let them go. Outer order creates inner calm. Simplify your schedule. Look at your calendar. Are you overcommitted? Saying yes out of guilt? Juggling things that drain rather than energize you? Give yourself permission to say no. As author Greg McKeown famously said, if it isn't a hell yes, it's a no. Protect your time like it matters, because it does. Streamline your digital life. Our digital world is often more cluttered than our closets. Unsubscribe from newsletters you don't read. Unfollow accounts that don't inspire or uplift you. Limit the endless scrolling. Set screen boundaries that give you room to breathe. As digital minimalist Cal Newport teaches, less tech, more intention. The bottom line, simplifying your life isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation. It's about removing what's unnecessary so you can make space for what's truly valuable, your peace of mind, your relationships, your purpose. Clarity doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes, it comes from doing less, but doing it with presence and care. Now, let's take that idea one step further by focusing not just on less, but on what matters most. Focus on the essentials, make space for what truly matters. Digital minimalist Cal Newport said it best. Digital minimalism is a philosophy of technology use in which you focus your online time on a small number of carefully selected and optimized activities that strongly support things you value and then happily miss out on everything else. This isn't just about managing screen time, it's about mastering your attention. What if you gave your energy only to the people, pursuits, and habits that actually nourish your mind, heart, and soul? Focus on the essentials. Take a moment to reflect. What are the non-negotiables in your life? Is it your health, time with loved ones, your creative passions, your sense of peace? Make a short list of your top priorities and let them be your compass. As philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself. In your way of thinking, it's not about doing more. It's about doing more of what matters. Simplicity in action. Let's explore how people apply this concept in daily life, not through grand gestures, but through small, intentional changes. The capsule wardrobe. Some people embrace the idea of owning fewer clothes, but each item is versatile, high quality, and intentionally chosen. This eliminates decision fatigue in the morning and makes space for a more peaceful, efficient start to the day. The weekly meal plan. Planning your meals in advance can reduce grocery stress, cut down on waste, save money, and encourage healthier eating. It's one simple system that creates space both in your fridge and in your mind. The tech-free weekend. More and more people are choosing to disconnect from screens for a day or two each week. No scrolling, no notifications, just real conversations, nature walks, laughter, and rest. It's not about missing out, it's about finally tuning in. The bottom line, simplifying isn't about sacrifice. It's about being deliberate. It's about clearing the clutter, physical, digital, emotional, so you can make room for joy, purpose, and presence. As poet T.S. Eliot once asked, "Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information?" When we strip away the excess, we find what we were seeking all along: clarity, wisdom, and wonder. Alright, Stoic fam, but here's the truth. Stoicism isn't something you just learn, it's something you live. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Who do you want to become? Maybe it's building a morning ritual. Maybe it's creating a mantra. Or simplifying your schedule. Stay consistent, and watch how it transforms your mindset, your habits, and eventually, your life. A journey of progress, not perfection. Remember, the Stoic path isn't about being flawless. It's about being focused. It's about falling down and standing up wiser. It's about showing up each day with the courage to improve, even if just a little. So go out there and live your Stoic life. Embrace the challenges. Learn from your missteps. Grow through what you go through. And most importantly, remember, you're not alone on this path. We're in this together. A community of seekers, builders, and thinkers, all striving to become the best versions of ourselves. Now go forth and conquer mindfully, intentionally, and unapologetically. You've got this. So as you close this video and step back into your day, pause for just a moment. Ask yourself, not, what more can I chase? But, what truly matters to me right now? Because the Stoic life isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's not about controlling everything. It's about mastering yourself. Each breath is a new beginning. Each decision, a chance to choose growth over comfort, clarity over chaos, and intention over impulse. Let today be the day you move forward, not faster, but deeper. And if this journey spoke to something within you, if you felt even a spark of insight or inspiration, then don't walk this path alone. Hit that subscribe button, follow our channel, join a community of thinkers, seekers, and modern-day Stoics. We're just getting started, and the best is yet to come.